After testifying behind closed doors to the Senate Intelligence Committee all day and into the evening, tomorrow the president's former lawyer and fixer will testify publicly for the first time about what he says was the president's role in the crimes Cohen himself pleaded guilty to last year, and he says he's looking forward to it.
First of all, I want to thank you all for sticking around and waiting for me. At this point in time, I really appreciate the opportunity that was given to me to clear the record and to tell the truth. And I look forward to tomorrow, to being able to, in my voice, to tell the American people my story. And I'm going to let the American people decide exactly who's telling the truth.
Now, multiple sources say today Cohen apologized for the lies he told during his testimony in 2017 about how far the Trump Tower Moscow project negotiations went into the campaign. Senator Susan Collins said Cohen was, quote, a very different guy than the last time. A source tells CNN tomorrow Cohen will give details about the president's conduct when he was a candidate and may have documents to back up those claims. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Cohen will publicly accuse the president of criminal conduct related to the hush money payment to Stormy Daniels, and he will detail the lies, racism, and cheating he witnessed while working for Trump for more than a decade. The White House is already trying to do preemptive damage control before Cohen faces that committee and the American public. In a statement, Press Secretary Sarah Sanders says, quote, disgraced felon Michael Cohen is going to prison for lying to Congress and making other false statements. Sadly, he will go before Congress this week, and we can expect more of the same. Her statement goes on to say, quote, it's laughable that anyone would take a convicted liar like Cohen at his word, and pathetic to see him given yet another opportunity to spread his lies. Sarah Sanders, spokeswoman for President Trump, saying a liar like Cohen should not be taken at his word. Let that sink in for just a moment. Pot, meet kettle. The Washington Post now clocks the number of false or misleading claims made by President Trump at 8,718, and that's only up to last Sunday. The Post fact-checker database found that the president averaged more than 15 erroneous claims a day during 2018. Now, keep it honest, there is no doubt Michael Cohen has lied and lied a lot. He lied while working for Donald Trump for his company. He lied on TV promoting Trump's campaign, and he lied under oath to Congress. He's a convicted felon. The difference between him and President Trump is that Cohen has admitted to lying. The president has not. Cohen has now apparently apologized for lying. The president has never really apologized for anything except the Access Hollywood tape, which he's reportedly subsequently suggested he never really said those things, which he did. There is, of course, an important question we don't quite know the answer to. Why did Michael Cohen lie so much for Donald Trump? He suggested it was out of blind loyalty to another liar.
I will use my legal skills within which to protect Mr. Trump to the best of my ability. I protect Mr. Trump. I will do anything to protect Mr. Trump. I'm obviously very loyal and very dedicated to Mr. Trump.
Okay, so that turned out not to be the case either. That loyalty and dedication does not exist anymore, and therefore neither does Cohen's motivation to lie for the president. The White House statement ignores that part of its once a liar, always a liar contention. But if that's the standard, then why should we believe anything the president says either after he said this back in April?
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels?
No.
Why did Michael Cohen make it if there was no truth to your allegation?
Well, you have to ask Michael Cohen. Michael's an attorney, and you'll have to ask Michael Cohen.
Do you know where he got the money to make that payment?
No, I don't know. No.
So, I mean, that was a lie. He knew. And we know he knew because he's on a recording talking with Michael Cohen about hush money payments involving David Pecker, the CEO of the parent company, the National Enquirer, which was buying and then killing stories about the president's alleged extramarital affairs.
I need to open up a company for the transfer of all of that info regarding our friend David. It's all the stuff, because you never know where that company, you never know where he's going to be. Correct. So I'm all over that.
Yeah, maybe he gets hit by a truck. Those hush money payments will be a topic of tomorrow's public testimony. As you probably remember, the hush money payments that we know about were to cover up alleged affairs the president had while he was married to Melania Trump, with a porn star and a Playboy model. The only reason I mention the details of that part of it is because, wouldn't you know, someone else has popped up shouting about kettles and pots and what color they are. Here's what a sitting United States Congressman, Republican Matt Gaetz, tweeted just a few hours ago. Hey, Michael Cohen, do your wife and father-in-law know about your girlfriends? Maybe tonight would be a good time for that chat. I wonder if she'll remain faithful when you're in prison. She's about to learn a lot. So let's just think about this for a moment. A sitting member of Congress, who is a huge supporter of President Trump, decided it was a good idea to tweet out what certainly appears to be a threat to Michael Cohen. Do your wife and father-in-law know about your girlfriends? She's about to learn a lot. It's the kind of thing you can imagine like a petty thug or blackmailer saying to someone in a muffled phone call or in a dark alley in a B movie from the 1940s, or frankly, something you might have heard Vito Corleone say in The Godfather. I wonder if she, your wife, will remain faithful when you're in prison. That's not a threat. That's just tacky and tawdry and completely beneath the dignity of a sitting congressman. And believe me, that bar, it ain't too high. Gaetz said that tweet was not witness tampering, it was witness testing. Okay, mildly clever, but actually meaningless. The thing Gaetz's tweet seems to ignore is it was meant to be a threat or intended to make people sort of clutch their pearls. You just have to look no further than the president's own alleged conduct. All the pearls are taken. There is no pearl necklace anymore. When Cohen testifies tomorrow, yeah, it'll be a known liar who lied for another known liar because the liar told him to lie and paid him to lie. Michael Cohen might lie tomorrow, we don't know, but you could also argue the liar doesn't actually have to lie anymore because he's already been convicted of lying and he's heading to prison. How much more does he really have to lose? CNN Chief White House correspondent Jim Acosta is in Hanoi with the president. He joins us now. Jim, what are you hearing among White House staffers, the mood among White House staffers who are in Vietnam ahead of the Cohen hearing? Because no matter what happens in Vietnam tomorrow, this Cohen testimony is going to be the story of the day.
Well, publicly, Anderson, they're claiming that they're not worried about Michael Cohen and that hearing overshadowing everything back here in Vietnam. But obviously, they know that Michael Cohen's will be a huge spectacle tomorrow and that it is going to overshadow much of what the president does here with the North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. Anderson, basically what you're hearing from White House officials is what you just laid out a few moments ago. They are attacking Michael Cohen's credibility. At the White House press secretary, Sarah Sanders, referring to Michael Cohen as a liar. And so what happens when you have people who don't tell the truth, accusing other people of not telling the truth? I think that's something we'll find out tomorrow. I talked to a source close to the White House, a Trump advisor, earlier this evening, who said that this is all about credibility. And in the view of this advisor, Michael Cohen doesn't have any. But Anderson, I think more to the point at this juncture, this advisor said that right now Michael Cohen is without a country. That is how badly he is seen inside Trump world. It's almost as if he's been excommunicated, and it really gets to the heart of how things go down in Trump world. When you're somebody like Paul Manafort, who has really resisted cooperating with the special counsel's office, you don't get this kind of treatment. But when you're Michael Cohen, it's like something out of The Godfather had Twitter existed when Michael Corleone was around.
Yeah, I mean, do we know if the president, I find it hard to believe he's not going to watch Cohen's hearing tomorrow. I think it starts at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I think that's 10 p.m. in Hanoi. So he would have to stay up through the night to, I guess, actually watch it. But do we know, does he plan to watch it?
Yeah. Well, according to our sources, Anderson, yes. I mean, White House officials have basically acknowledged the president will be spending some time watching all of this. And White House officials and the president's legal team will be looking at this as well. I talked to a source familiar with the president's legal team, and they're thinking, who told me earlier this evening, that they don't expect there to be a whole lot of bombshells to come out of Michael Cohen's testimony, that they don't expect to hear anything dramatically new in terms of what he has to say. But they seem to agree and understand inside the White House and inside the president's legal team that this is going to be a major spectacle. Keep in mind, Anderson, in previous administrations, when you had scandals like Iran-Contra, Watergate, Monica Lewinsky, you had hearings in front of the public. You had major figures from an administration testify in front of the cameras. That really hasn't happened up until this point in the Trump administration, and that is why tomorrow, whether Michael Cohen reveals a whole lot of new information or just comes out in front of the cameras and says what he has said before, I think no doubt we're going to be witnessing history when Michael Cohen testifies in front of Congress tomorrow, in front of the cameras. It's just something we haven't seen so far very much during the course of this Russia investigation. I think it's going to be a pretty incredible moment to watch.